Thailand, I spent most every day of my childhood with my friend named Nongip. We did everything together. We played games together. We went on walks together. Whatever 6-year-old friends did together. One day I went to pick her up from my house and she wasn't there, and I was told that she was sick, but I didn't know with what. And so after about 3 days, I went and I told my parents, and they said that she had to go move in with their grandma because she had dengue fever. And up to that point, I knew what dengue fever was, and I knew it was really bad, but I didn't know what that entailed. And so after about a month, she finally came back, and the reason why I chose to do my information speech on dengue fever is because it's something that has affected me since childhood, and yet most people who live in America have no idea what it is. So dengue fever is a tropical disease that is transmitted by certain species of mosquitoes called Aedes aegypti, and it has 4 different kinds of virus that springs out from it. There's several reasons why it is dangerous. One is that it has no cure. The symptoms are fever, headache, joint pains, muscle pains, and it causes your body to have a low platelet count. So when you get it really bad, you start to bleed out of various areas because you have low platelets. It can cause a rash that is just red all over, and you have little islands of white. It kind of looks like a measles rash. It typically will last 5 days, and in those 5 days it will be different stages. So if you get through about the 4th day, you know you'll survive. But 80% of people who get the virus have asymptomatic the asymptomatic virus. So their fevers and their muscle pains are threatening, but only about 5% of people who get dengue fever will have very, very life-threatening results. Even in that 80%, it is very, very painful process and a very not a fun experience. But the main way to get rid of dengue fever is prevention. Since there's no main cure for it, the best way to save yourself from getting it is to prevent it. If you live in a tropical country, the best thing you can do is to wear long sleeves. When you're in your house, if you have standing still water, make sure you dump it out. If you have mop water or if you have sink water, bath water, you need to dump it out. Make sure there's no still standing water, because that's where those types of mosquitoes, or any type of mosquitoes, breed like mass amounts. So make sure that there's no still standing water, and that's another good way to prevent you from getting that from dengue fever. Wearing long sleeves, like what I said before, making sure you have pants on. If you're visiting for a little while, that's not going to be hazardous or inconvenience to you, because really, compared to having dengue fever, being a little bit hot or uncomfortable is something you can sacrifice for. Have bug repellent wherever you are. So having those long sleeves and then bug repellent is a double precaution. It's really good. So now that you have a little bit more information what dengue can do to you, when you go to Thailand or Cambodia or other tropical countries, be aware of this. So I know of certain people have gone to Haiti and they weren't aware of it. So what they did was they got back to the States and had dengue fever but weren't aware of it. So they went through the whole disease, went through all 5 stages, all 5 days, started bleeding out of their nose, and got the rash, and they just thought they had some kind of cold or something. But it can be very life-threatening, and be very aware of this. So next time you go to these countries, be careful and make sure you take the precautions to prevent yourself from getting it.